So it's finally happened. The Pathologic 3 demo is dead. Long live the Pathologic 3 demo. Pathologic Quarantine is no longer available on the Steam page, and instead, we're getting this brand new, shinier demo. They're saying this new one is gonna be a part of the actual full game introduction, which is funny because that's what they said about the Quarantine. But you know, whatever. We know they were gonna change and move stuff around after getting testing and player feedback. They announced as such. And no, I don't think that the data miners are at fault for that, but I do know that they're salivating at the thought of having more things to data mine and spoil. I know I am. It should be noted that these demo releases do mirror what they did for Pathologic 2. At first they had this kind of tech demo, concept demo thing with Marble Nest, which later got re-released as a DLC. Then they had an internal closed playtest version, which we know is also happening with Pathologic 3. Then they had a public free demo for Pathologic 2, which was just the first day, with only minor differences from the full release, which was released soon afterwards. Likely they're trying to do something similar with Pathologic 3, and we are currently probably somewhere around here in this hypothetical release schedule. And since we're saying goodbye to Quarantine as it's being removed from the Steam page, I thought I'd write to give it a final farewell by listing all of the mistakes and errors and boo-boos that they left in. I know iSpic's gonna love this video. The first one to mention, I don't think was a mistake, but it doesn't seem like it was intended. And that's the debug screen. And I say unintended because of this one interaction between Alfina and a community member. Basically on the first day of release, someone found the debugs in Quarantine and posted some screenshots of it. And Alfina's reaction was, how? And it's like, what do you mean? We've got the console right there in the game. It seems like for the demo coming out, there is going to be a debug screen, but it's going to be far more limited than what it was in Quarantine, which I'm a little sad about, but it's fine. I'm sure I'll find some kind of way to abuse and break the game anyway. By the way, if you're not familiar, Alfina is the narrative director and community manager and probably 5 other things at iSpic Lodge. She does a lot of interviews and community outreach and stuff, and is more or less the face of iSpic Lodge at the moment, at least for Pathologic 3. If you're familiar with Warframe, she is basically our version of Space Mom. We love her, she hates us. It's great. One of the things IPL was actively asking us to report on was areas and situations where players could get softlocked. And I don't think we did a great job finding them. We did find some. Players did report getting stuck in places, but I think we missed some in the first initial waves of reporting. In the Shabnag bonfire sequence, the amount of matches we are given is not infinite, and if we open our inventory we can see just how many we have left. It takes a while to use up all the matches, but if we do get stuck. I guess at that point it's your fault. We can also get softlock if we run past the Shabnag. If we time our throws on the bonfires at the latest possible moment and then sprint to the next area, it's possible to sprint past the kill wall that only spawns when the Shabnag spawns. Doing this also softlocks us. The only way to reset is by resetting the game or going back and getting killed. And there's also a few spots in geometry we can get stuck in, like this corner in Philip's house, on top of all this garbage, and outside of Philip's house, behind these rocks. You can't get out of here without a jump button. And while we're talking about geometry, why does the collision for the wheelbarrows include these little tiny arms? I bring this up because, one, we get stuck on it all the time, but also in Pathologic 2, Artemy can step over these no problem. I guess Daniel's too short and Artemy has legs? I don't know. Also, since I brought up collision boxes, the collision around Anna Angel's front door is missing, allowing us to break into her house. This is not the only instance of an NPC house that we can get inside of. We can also do it with the old Gimsky house through Capella's front door. In the hindquarters, there's this rock near Ruben's house that used to not have any collision, and we could walk out of bounds through it. Some players found it organically and thought it was even intended, and got lost and confused when they arrived at Philip's house. They did fix this, however. They did give that rock collision, but they missed this other rock, which also has the same problem, and we can go out of bounds through it. I think this was a far less common discovery, though. Another out-of-bounds thing that they also fixed was the out-of-bounds capital wrong warp, where during the arrest sequence in Act 1, if the player interacts with the exit door during the fade-out, the player will enter the next area without a proper location start spawn for the character, and so the game defaults and spawns us in the center of the map, below the ground. And we could explore the area underneath the map, kinda, sorta. From here, there was no real way to progress or to escape, and except for restarting. So this was fixed around patch 2 or 3 or something. There used to be a glitch where every other playthrough, you would not be able to return to the theater on the second time, making it impossible to continue the playthrough, forcing you to restart. Thankfully they fixed that pretty early on. But it was weird how consistent this glitch was. It was literally every other new game you would run into this glitch. Okay, I think that covers most of all of the game-breaking softlock stuff. But I'm not done yet. One thing that wasn't clear at first was interactions with the environmentals. At first it just said use, and the player just had to intuit what that meant regarding what they were doing with what object. Soon later they changed them to kick or break and added little delightful jiggle animations to the trash cans, which I love. The breaking glass texture, however, still left room for improvement, is what I would have said if they didn't fix it. Oh my god, when did they do this? This looks so much better, I'm so happy. Oh wait, no, it still happens. Happens a lot less though, that's really good. The reflections are a little funky still though. One thing I know they didn't fix, however, is the playground equipment. Most of them are interactable, but some are not. Those that are interactable sometimes don't do anything and seem to be broken. Sometimes they do stuff, and but these ones give mania, which is fine, but these ones give us apathy for some reason. Why? Does Daniel like swings, but spinning things make him sad? Share your headcanon in the comments. What else? Oh, the fast travel system, of course. I've talked about it before, so I'll try to be quick about it. In quarantine, the way fast travel works is you go to one of these exit gates, and then you click on the district you want to go to, and then you appear in that district. If on that little drawn path that Daniel takes is interrupted by a dangerous district, our fast travel gets interrupted and we have to play that dangerous district. When this happens, all the doors except for the intended exit are closed, and we have to navigate ourselves manually to the intended exit in order to progress. This system is functional, but has some problems. At no point can we redo our navigation or change our destination. So in a hypothetical situation where we have to go through a dangerous district and we spend a lot of our resources, we may want to go back where we came from or go somewhere else or change our game plan for the day. We can't do that with how this fast travel system works right now. But if instead we clicked on the dangerous district itself, the game treats that as our final destination, and so then all the exit gates are open, and we can use any of them to progress, including the one we just came through from, skipping the dangerous district. It sounds like they fixed this in the new demo coming out, and I can't wait to try and break it again. I don't know, what else? The texture on this globe is messed up. Why is Sweden on the equator? In the earlier builds of Quarantine, some players were reporting that they were seeing a lot of red bloom effect with the sun and the sky that made the game very difficult to play. They fixed this early on though. They also improved the stability when we're in the infected district. It used to be much worse. Oh, and the bottles. These bandits that are on the balconies throw these bottles at us. The bottles don't have any sound effect when they break and crash into us, and it's really confusing when you get hit by them. A lot of players didn't even notice these bandits even exist because there was no audio tell of the bottles hitting them. One thing that players did notice, however, was how strange and pasty a lot of the characters look, especially indoors. These do seem to be the same exact models as in Pathologic 2, but something about the new lighting system makes them look really odd. It does appear that they tried to change some things for the new demo coming up, but we'll see what that looks like when it's not being overly compressed by the YouTube streaming service. The footage that I'm using, by the way, is from Andy North's stream. They got an early release copy of the demo on Friday, and we had a little bit of a watch party watching them play through it. I am super excited, but not for the art. I don't think the new splash art looks very good. I don't know, it's the laugh lines for me. What are they called? The nasoliable fold. They're too pronounced here. It makes him look way older than he should be. Like, Daniel is supposed to be like mid-early 20s, the kind of failed college graduate type of dude. He shouldn't look like this. The in-game one that I saw looked fine though. Little low texture with the eyebrows, Beatles MCR reject. It's fine. But they did change the splash art. And they changed the splash art because this is what it was for Quarantine, which seems a little off-model and a little too much like Neil Gaiman's Sandman. And there were some allegations going on that this might have been AI generated. I'm not sure if this was, at least not entirely. Because if you find a high-res version and you zoom in really closely, those are artifacts from a Marquee tool. I haven't seen AI tools that know to care to recreate those. But once people learn that you did use AI art as placeholder assets early on in development, people tend to second guess every single other piece of art that you put out, which is definitely annoying. And I feel pretty gross for having the impulse to AI investigate these things. Despite being an artist, conceptually I think it's fine. Art is art even if it's sloppy AI placeholder stuff. It's just a little bit lazy and encourages toxic behavior. For what it's worth, they did update and change some of these to be handmade ones, or at least ones that were refined by hand. Elfina has mentioned that in hindsight, she should have just used pictures of her dogs instead, which would have been actually super freaking cool because they're mad cute. But let's be real with ourselves. Pathologic has long had a history of having strange artistic decisions. Look at those shoes. Alright, where was I? During the riot outside of Stillwater section, there are spots where we can stand where we're not getting hit by the fire. During the sequence where the Shabnag is waiting outside the Stillwater, if we go back inside and then back outside, it loads the map without all the bonfires. When walking around at night, sometimes windows are really bright white. This kind of looks like the lights inside are turned on, but what's really going on is the textures inside are not loaded in yet, and so default to this bright white textureless thing. Once you know that that's what's going on, they're kind of hard not to notice. Oh, here's one that's narratively important. When we find Capella's hanging body in the rioting guts district, holding down Q for the investigation thought mode, Daniel doesn't have anything to say or to think about as Capella's hanging there in front of him, and that definitely feels like an oversight. At least to me, I don't know. I don't know. It's outro time, I think. Wow, look at all of these boo-boos and mistakes and whoopsies. Wow, it's almost like this Pathologic 3 quarantine demo is like a demo or something and not a full release of a game. They charged money for this. Alright, this is the end of the video. Let me know if I forgot something that I should have included. Oh, I forgot about the controller. Did you know that Quarantine had controller support? It's kinda janky, but I really like the quick slot UI in the bottom right. Way more than what we saw in the early access version of the new demo. Okay, it's time. Bye bye.